Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Let's Learn the Track Global Mazda Edition from Okayama Long. This series is sponsored by simrigs.com. Now, I did a track guide here a few weeks ago which was Okayama Short. This is the full Okayama circuit, which is a bit more technical. It takes in the downhill, the tricky right, the long back stretch, and then the little technical section thereafter. Usual Let's Learn the Track stuff applies here. We're going to go out, we're going to do a couple of slow laps. I'm going to show you my braking markers and reference points, and then we'll pick up the pace and try and show you those braking markers, reference points in action. Now, this isn't going to be a hot lap session. This is just going to be telling you what I think makes a nice, safe lap around here. So my braking markers are going to be a bit conservative, but they're going to be doable all the time. So I've set the weather to iRacing default weather. I'll put that on screen now. So it's set at 2 p.m. I think this is the sim time is 2 p.m. So it's as hot as it's going to get. So you may well find that you can go quicker than what I can go here, depending on what the track temp is in when you do your race. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's get out there. Here we are then on pit road. I think I mentioned this in the Okayama short video that I did. Pit road isn't too bad at Okayama. The only thing you need to worry about is when you exit the pits. If you've had to pit because you've got damage, or if you've had a stop and go, then all you need to do here is make sure that you keep an eye on your relative box, because the turn in for turn one is pretty much the same as the exit to pit lane. So when you leave here, people are starting to turn in. Just bear that in mind. So we'll talk about turn one next time we go round. But essentially, you want to be on the right-hand side of the circuit. With the short circuit, you want to be on the left. Here, as soon as you get around turn one, we'll want to be over to the right-hand side for this now tricky but fun left-hander. What I use here is the curb on the right, the green curb, and where the grass stops. That's what I use as my braking marker and turning. Now here, you're in third gear and you're just applying light pressure to the brakes. But when you turn in, this is off camber, this corner, so the car will go light and loose. So you've just got to balance it on the brakes and the throttle. So when you get to this point, you're going to be turning in third gear and you're going to be aiming for this inside curb. The car will be loose because it's off camber. So you've just got to balance it with the accelerator and brake. As soon as you're on the apex, ideally you want to be on the accelerator, using all of the track, then down the hill to the tricky right-hander. Now, this is an absolutely superb overtaking opportunity, this one. Not into the turn, out of the turn, onto the straight. People generally, from what I've seen, from my experience, people get greedy going into this right-hander here. And it's really, really easy to do when you're battling with somebody, is to just miss your braking marker a tiny bit or try and get a little bit more out of it. But if you can remain disciplined and hit your braking marker, then there's a good chance that you will pick up positions on the exit to this turn down the straight. Or at least it will at least open up an opportunity for you to overtake into the hairpin at the end of the straight. Now, braking marker here, you can see the 100 board and the 50 board on the left. It's generally around about the 75, pretty much in between those two. We're going to be in fourth gear at this point. You leave it in fourth, and we're going to be braking. You can see where the grass starts to go yellow there. That we're going to be braking before there, probably round about here. We're going to be braking down into third gear, not second gear, so down into third gear, and then we're going to be braking in a straight line, and we're pretty much going to be turning in where this dirty piece of tarmac is straight ahead there. That's pretty much going to be our turning point. And then we're going to be holding the brakes, trail braking until the car comes back to the apex. And then as soon as we get to the apex, we're going to be accelerating hard, third gear, nice and tight, all the way around. When you get on the gas there, the trick is when you get on the gas there, you don't want to be letting off the gas. You want to be on the gas all the way up this straight. Now, if you're battling with somebody, obviously you would take the inside line to defend this turn. And it's very, very hard to overtake here on the outside. So, if you are battling with somebody, don't give them a chance to dive bomb you up the inside. Just defend on the inside there. So here, Again, another section where people get really greedy. But braking marker for me is the 100 board there on the left hand side. Brake there, we're going to be in 5th gear. You could probably even hold 4th gear up there with the new Mazda because it revs a little bit higher. But 5th gear, if you want to protect that little motor, so you want to be 5th gears, then you're going to be braking hard, down into 4th, down into 3rd, then down into 2nd gear. And we're going to be aiming for the inside curb. We're going to be braking, holding a nice tight line. If you touch the inside curb, it will help the car rotate slightly. The car will run wide. Accelerate in 2nd gear. When you get straight, because we need the car back over to the right hand side, when we get it straight, we're going to be shifting up into 3rd gear at this point. And we're going to be looking at this grass on the right hand side and see where it's burnt there, where it's been used and abused a little bit there. That's our turning point and braking marker for this left-hander here. So car right over to the right hand side. We're going to be braking there in 3rd gear, and we're going to be clipping this inside curb. Now, the new Mazda tyre model, the car's obviously a little bit more slippery and snaky. Use that to your advantage here, because if you're turning left, heading for that apex, and you just ease off the gas, the car will want to step out, and that will help the car rotate to get round here. So don't be frightened to balance the car just by lifting off the throttle. Then we're accelerating using all of this curb for this next left, and our braking mark and turning point is this curb on the right. So we're going to be clipping this curb here. That's our turning point. 3rd gear again. We're going to be aiming for this inside curb and then accelerating using all the track on the exit up to this left-handed hairpin. Braking marker here is the 50 board on the right hand side. So we're going to be holding 3rd gear up here, then down into 2nd gear, nice and tight around here, then accelerating on the apex. I mentioned in the last video that if you can enter this right hand turn before somebody else, then there's a really good chance that you can get over the start finish line before them. So just bear that in mind if you're battling. And then we're going to be in 2nd gear, nice and tight around here, and then we're looking for the end of the curb there on the right hand side. As soon as you see the end of the curb there on the right hand side, that's when we're going to start accelerating out in 2nd gear. And then we're going to let the car run all the way out wide onto this curb for this blind right hander here. So you can't see the turn, and when you're on a flying lap, you're pretty much turning in before you can actually see the apex. So we're going to be in 3rd gear, then we're going to, as soon as we get over that little crest, we're going to be aiming for this inside curb. Just as you approach it, a little lift of the gas in the early laps, because the car will rotate there and want to slide. So just a little lift of the gas, you should be fine. And then accelerate down, still in 3rd gear, for the braking point for the final turn. Now, you see the curbs on the left hand side. So it's just after those. We're going to be braking in a straight line in 3rd gear, straight line, and then head for this apex on the inside. And then as soon as you get here, you're going to be on the gas, 3rd gear, let the car run out wide. You can even use a little bit of the gravel there, it's fine. And then head down to turn number 1. Now the braking marker here is just after this Dunlop bridge. So you'll see the shadow going across the road surface, and then you can see the tyre marks in the distance. So it's just between those two. We're going to be braking in 3rd gear. We're going to be holding the left hand side. So we're braking now, 3rd gear, and then we're going to be turning in. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a dirty part of the road surface that you could actually use as your turning marker if you wished. Where is it? There. So you can see it just above the orange part of my steering wheel there. So just there. You look straight ahead. There, right above it there now. That could be your turning point there. 3rd gear. And we're going to be aiming for this inside curb. We're going to be trail braking because we want the car on the inside. As soon as you get to the apex, you're going to be accelerating. 3rd gear. The car will drift out to the left, but then we need to get the car over to the right. And the sooner we can get it over there, the better, because for this left turn, we want the car nice and settled. We don't want to be turning right and then quickly turning left, because then the car will oversteer and then you're sliding all the way around this left-hander, which looks cool, but it's not fast. So then we get the car over to this right-hand side, just at this curb. We're going to be braking gently. We're going to be in third gear, and we're going to be aiming for this inside curb. As soon as we get to this point, there, so you can see that barrier, that grey barrier there. If you're pointing there when you're going around the corner, then you're pretty much on line. Then you can accelerate out because the car will run wide, and there's a little bit of curb in there that you can use. Then we'll head down again to this tricky right-hander, and we're going to be braking in between the 100 and the 50, just before that grass there, in third gear, turn in at that dirty part, let the car come back to the apex, and then accelerate hard all the way, nice tight line all the way up there, down towards the right-hand hairpin. If you are battling, then obviously defend on the inside. If you're not, you'll be over to the left-hand side. We're going to be braking at the 100. So we're going to be braking now, down into fourth, down into third, down to second. Nice tight line. Accelerate out, the car will drift wide. Up into third, then touch the brakes at the dirty part of the road surface there. Clip the inside curb. Use that curb, just a slight touch of the brakes, just to get the car to start to rotate. And then up towards this left-hand hairpin, braking at the 50. Down to second gear, nice tight line round here. Accelerate out, leave it in second gear. You don't need to go up into third. Braking again, just cut it back if it does go a bit wide there. As soon as you see the end of the curb, accelerate. So we're going to be turning in before we can see the apex there. A little lift of the gas, just so the car doesn't slide too much, then brake just after the curb, head for the apex. As soon as you are on the apex, you can accelerate out down the start finish straight. Now I'll get a couple more laps in, and then we'll pick up when the tyres are warm. Right, so we're going to be going on to lap number 5 now. So tyres are warmed up, I would say enough, maybe not quite up to temperature, but they're warm enough to do a couple of flying laps, which we'll do now. So we're going to be in fourth gear, heading down to turn number 1. No need to go into fifth gear. Braking just after the bridge in a straight line. Aim for the inside curb there. As soon as you're on the apex, we're going to be accelerating. We want the car over to the right as quick as we can, so we need the car nice and settled. At the end of the curb there, we're going to be braking, heading for this inside apex there, accelerating out onto the curb, and down the hill in fourth gear, leaving in fourth gear at this point. We're going to be braking in between the 50 and the 100 before the lighter part of grass on the left hand side, just there. We're going to be holding the brakes. As soon as it's aiming for the apex, get on the gas, because we don't want to take our foot off the gas as we go up this hill, because you might need to defend going into the hairpin. If you do, leave it on this side. If you don't, the optimum place to be is on this side. So fifth gear, braking at the 100. We're going to be down into fourth, down to third, down to second, nice and tight. Accelerate out, the car will run over there, up into third gear. Look for the grass on the right that's been used. Clip that curb. And then just over this curb, we're going to be braking slightly, a tiny bit, just to help the car to rotate. And then we're going to be up here into this left-hander, braking at the 50. Nice and tight round here. And then accelerate out early, hold it in second, and then nice and tight round here. Look for the end of the curb. There it is. We're going to accelerate there, up into third. So we're going to be turning in before we see this one. A little lift of the throttle, just so it doesn't slide too much. Just after the curb, braking in third gear. Hit the apex, we're going to be on the gas. And then over the start-finish line. So that's a lap of Okayama. Let's see what time we do. A 48.5. There's quite a bit more time in the car there, but the track temp is 49 degrees. It's scorching hot. So yeah, times will be quicker than that during the race week. There we go. If you wouldn't mind letting me know in the comments how you get on, if this has helped. And please have a look in the description, simrigs.com. They're making this series possible, so please have a look at their website. It's work in progress at the moment, so please go on there. You can register and get some cracking deals, I'm sure, when they do go live. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Good luck. I'll see you later. Cheers.